Man, I had to go outside and go for a walk before I did this video to cool off. And I'm still pissed off. I'm still pissed. This was straight up sabotage. Stephanie White, you are a bum. Aaliyah Boston, you are even more of a bum. You are a $6 million piece of garbage out there. Your ass can't make a layup. You refuse to pass the ball to Caitlyn Clark. You stink. You stink. You've been intentionally not passing the ball to Caitlyn Clark for the last 7-8 games. We've been watching and counting. I've been watching your ass not pass her the ball. You can't make a layup to save your life. You just as garbage at layups as...
Turned her back and walked away from the bench as the arena erupted into chaos. Caitlyn Clark finally reached her breaking point after an agonizing 91-85 loss to the Dallas Wings. Head coach Stephanie White stood stunned on the sideline, watching the furious reaction unfold before her. This was more than a devastating road loss to an opponent that had struggled in recent games. It was the explosive climax of an internal conflict that had been quietly building for weeks, threatening to tear the entire franchise apart.
Kelsey Mitchell in it, she played a hell of a game, but this thing was 100% about Kelsey Mitchell, and I think it had everything to do with them seeing Caitlyn Clark climbing that MVP ladder, and they said, hell no, we are sabotaging this, and that is exactly what happened. The Indiana Fever lose to a team in the Dallas Wings that lost 8 out of their last 11 games. You could thank Stephanie White, who wanted to make it all about Kelsey Mitchell. Welcome to Keep the Vision. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share the channel, hit the bell notification, hype the video. That'd be greatly appreciated, man. I am disgusted with the Indiana Fever. I am disgusted. Stephanie White, get your bum ass in the trash.
The tension on the court was impossible to ignore from the opening possession. White designed the first play specifically for Kelsey Mitchell, leaving Clark out of the primary role. Clark still made the unselfish play, delivering a bounce pass that sent Mitchell to the free throw line. That early sequence set the tone for the night. Instead of balancing the offense, the coaching staff continued relying heavily on Mitchell.
Hype the video. That'd be greatly appreciated, man. I am disgusted with the Indiana Fever. I am disgusted. Stephanie White, get your bum ass in the trash. Get your bum ass in the trash. You are a fucking bum of a coach. You are terrible. You are terrible. You mean to tell me the very first play of the game was ran for Kelsey Mitchell? Caitlyn Clark threw her a bounce pass. Kelsey Mitchell went to turn the corner, got fouled, went to the free throw line. From that point on, every single play in the first half was for Kelsey Mitchell. Nobody else could establish a rhythm because you did nothing else for any...
Analysts quickly noticed a troubling strategy that appeared designed to limit the rookie star. Clark was rising rapidly on the league's MVP ladder, building national momentum with each strong performance. Yet against Dallas, the offensive scheme seemed focused on disrupting her rhythm by directing most possessions through Mitchell. In doing so, the Fever weakened the team's natural flow and reduced the effectiveness of what made them dangerous, while tension continued building with every possession.
Sophie Cunningham to get a shot from 3. You like by the time people got looks, they were in no rhythm. There was no rhythm by the time they actually got looks at the rim. Aaliyah Boston is trash. She does not set screens. You got people tackling Caitlyn Clark. Aaliyah Boston, big, soft, sorry ass, don't do nothing. She's a big, soft, sorry piece of if you ask me out there. Aaliyah Boston is ass. $6 million of ass juice out there. She ain't did nothing. Got dominated by Jessica Shepard. Aaliyah Boston, get your sorry ass in the trash too. Go on. Get your sorry ass in the trash.
The statistical disparity through the first 2 quarters revealed what was happening on the floor. Indiana did not run a single pick and roll or ball screen specifically for Clark until just 15 seconds remained in the second quarter. Having one of the league's most dynamic playmakers standing idle on the perimeter severely limited her impact. The strategy neutralized her scoring threat and kept her disconnected from the offense as frustration continued building.
Straight up bum. Stephanie White, you are the biggest piece of garbage, biggest piece of trash out there. Take a look at this. I'm glad. Look, Caitlyn Clark is turning her back on Stephanie White. She's over it. Can we end this thing at the end of the season? Shout out to Kelsey. You played a good game. We're going to get into that. I want this thing broken up by the end of the season. You can't afford both. Pick one and let's move on. At this point, I'd rather y'all keep Kelsey, Stephanie, and AB together in Indiana, and let's let Caitlyn go elsewhere. Can we go elsewhere, please? I just want to get the hell away from here. I want to get away from these weirdos. I want to get away from this sabotaging organization. I want to get away from everything. Take a look at this.
Take a look at this. Stephanie White appeared unaware of the growing breakdown in team chemistry happening right in front of her. Cameras repeatedly showed the head coach giving Clark constant instructions during crucial dead ball situations without providing meaningful tactical support. Instead of adjusting the offense to create opportunities for her star guard, White seemed frustrated whenever Clark received the ball. Their deteriorating body language revealed a growing rift that could no longer be ignored.
Look at her. Look at her. Look at her. She don't want to hear it no more. Now look at Stephanie White when Caitlyn Clark has the ball right here. She don't even want Caitlyn to have the ball. She want Kelsey to have the ball. You see that reaction from the coach? You see that? They hate each other, and it's okay. I'll be glad when this thing is over. I will be glad when this thing is over. Get Caitlyn Clark the hell away from this team. Get her the hell out of here, man. Caitlyn Clark don't want nothing to do with Stephanie White, and Stephanie White don't want nothing to do with Caitlyn Clark, which is fine. Can we stop this whole kumbaya thing, this fake thing? Stop standing up for Stephanie White at the podium.
The on-court execution became even more concerning when examining the front-court dynamics and passing patterns. Aaliyah Boston repeatedly failed to complete basic handoffs with Clark on the perimeter. Observers noticed several sequences where Boston appeared to initiate an action toward Clark, only to change direction and pass directly to Mitchell. This pattern happened throughout the matchup, leaving Clark without momentum while defenders trapped her aggressively, knowing there was little interior threat.
Y'all had to go Kate for her at the podium. Y'all lost to a team that lost 8 out of their last 11 games. Caitlyn Clark didn't play well. You shot 1 free throw. That shows me you had a lack of aggression. I felt like you checked out in the second quarter, to be honest. I watched you check out. They ran everything for Kelsey Mitchell. You came down the court. You wasn't even looking for no ball screens no more because you knew they wasn't coming. And you know once you pass the ball, you're never getting the ball back. You know that. If we all know it, you know it too. You know Aaliyah Boston don't give you the ball when you give it to her. You know when you go for the handoff with Aaliyah Boston, she's going to do this and then go the opposite way and give it to Kelsey. You know that.
Boston's lack of physical support in screen and roll situations left Clark vulnerable to aggressive defensive pressure. Dallas defenders consistently crowded and pressured Clark on the perimeter, while Boston provided little contact to create separation. To make matters worse, Clark repeatedly delivered quality opportunities near the rim that Boston struggled to finish. The lack of interior presence allowed Dallas forward Jessica Shepard control the paint and expose Indiana's defensive weaknesses throughout the game.
Game plan. Every game has been that. This girl body just shut down the last game, just like it did in the playoffs last year. And she plays 35 minutes. But she played well with her opportunities. They made it her a focal point. They made it a point to get her established. They made it a point to get Kelsey a rhythm. And when she got that rhythm, she kept it going. They never made it a point to get anybody else a rhythm. Sophie Cunningham, 0-4 from 3. By the time Sophie Cunningham got a look at the rim, the game was almost over. She had no rhythm. No rhythm. Monique Billings sucks. The biggest crock of dog shit for $800,000. I don't know how she's getting 8. She sucks. Monique Billings is...
By the middle of the second quarter, Clark's demeanor had changed dramatically. As the offense repeatedly moved away from her, she disengaged from the flow and stopped looking for screens she knew would not come. Once she passed the ball, she rarely saw it returned. The energy that usually defines her game was replaced by visible frustration and detachment. The box score reflected the consequences. Clark finished with 10 points, 9 assists, and 4 rebounds on 4 of 15 shooting, including 2 of 8 from 3, while attempting only 1 free throw. Meanwhile, Kelsey Mitchell scored 37 points on 9 of 18 shooting and made all 15 free throws. While that kept Indiana competitive, it came at the expense of offensive balance. Sophie Cunningham went scoreless, and Monique Billings struggled to contribute. Dallas took advantage of Indiana's internal problems, with Iraq Ogun-Bale scoring 32 points and Jessica Shepard adding 26 points and 8 rebounds. The emotional climax came during a tense timeout late in the second half, when Stephanie White stepped toward Clark with more sideline criticism. Clark visibly turned away, threw her hands in the air, and walked toward the end of the bench. The moment highlighted the growing tension and communication problems within the team. For months, Clark had defended coaching decisions publicly despite questionable rotations, but her refusal to engage with White suggested that the relationship had reached a breaking point. The confrontation damaged the appearance of team unity that the organization had tried to maintain. Front office concerns are now growing over the team's leadership and direction. White was brought in to maximize Clark's playmaking and help guide the young roster toward championship contention. Instead, critics argue that her rigid offensive approach has created unnecessary tension and limited the team's most important asset. The growing friction between the backcourt stars also raises questions about the team's long-term offensive identity. Mitchell remains an elite scorer, but building an offense around two dominant guards with opposing roles can create structural problems. At the same time, Boston's inconsistent finishing and screening have added pressure to the front court. The loss to Dallas exposed deeper issues that could affect Indiana's postseason hopes. The team appeared disconnected throughout the game, while fans demanded significant changes. Social media quickly filled with clips and analysis of missed opportunities, questionable decisions, and Clark's visible frustration. Public pressure is now mounting on ownership to address the growing dysfunction.